Good morning guys, and welcome to a very blustery day here in Worthing. Now, does this situation sound familiar? Every time you go out in your car, you hear new grinding or clunking noises, the engine warning lights are coming on, you know your local garage owner by first name, and the loyalty points on your credit card seem to be racking up at an alarming rate. If so, you may be considering replacing your car. If you're after a family car in the compact SUV market, the new Vitara very well may be on your short list. So what we're going to do over the next 15 minutes, we're going to have a look at the styling, the practicality, the driving experience, and then hopefully make a decision: can the new Vitara replace maybe your loyal but rather knackered car as your new family car? So let's get going. Let's look over everything we need to know about the 2021 Suzuki Vitara with mild hybrid. Not a lot has really changed in terms of styling with this car. What has changed is underneath the bonnet, but we'll discuss that once we're out on the road. It was a pretty smart looking car anyway, so not changing anything, I'm not bothered by that at all. One thing that is standard now is LED lights, which come across all of the range. Although the SZ5 non-hybrid also comes with LEDs, and this is also the SZ5. Down here we've got the housing for the radar and a host of other safety features. In terms of safety, this got the full 5-star. So it's great for being a family car to keep everyone safe. The SZ5 as standard comes with 215, 55, 17-inch wheels. We've got a sunroof, roof bars, blacked out rear privacy glass, and also keyless entry. As we'll see a bit later, the doors open really wide, which makes for easy access getting in and out of this car. Side profile, it's pretty smart to be honest. When considering a new family car, boot size is really important. How much stuff can you fit in there? Before we have a look in there, just a note, we have got a reversing camera, so it does make parking a lot easier. So let's have a look in the boot. This is really well designed in here. There are two features which really stand out for me. One of them is the fact there is no loading lip here, so it's easy to put something on the edge and slide it in. The other thing is there is a false floor. You can lift that up and it gives you probably another 6 inches of storage. So maybe if you had valuables, you could put them in there and hide them. And if you needed to give yourself maybe a bit more room, if you have a taller item, you could take this out and put it in. Really, really good design. We've got numerous tethering points, pockets on either side, a light, 12-volt power supply. You can easily fit a couple of suitcases, pushchair, week shopping. So yeah, very, very practical. Seats fold down into a 60-40 split as well, so giving you that bit of extra room if required. So there we go, that's the outside of the Vitara. Let's hop in the back and we'll see what passengers have in store for them. Well, what's the back of this Vitara like? Well, I've set the driver up to be 6 foot. I'm also 6 foot, and I've just about got enough knee room. My knees are pushing against the back of the seat, so if you were any taller, you may have to get the driver to squidge their seat forward ever so slightly. Plenty of room underneath for my feet, so it's actually a pretty comfortable place. Headroom is okay. It's not great. If you see, I've got maybe ½ an inch above my head, but some of that is to do with the fact we've got the panoramic sunroof, which comes as standard on the SZ5. If you were worried about that, maybe the SZT, which doesn't have that, might be a better bet, but you do get less toys with that. One thing I really like in here, we've got Isofix, so if you have got child seats, they're very easy to fit in here. I take my granddaughter out quite a bit and she has a car seat, and I have to play origami with the seat belt for about half an hour to get the blasted thing to fit. So getting it and clipping it in here is great. Very, very family orientated. Comfy seats, you've got quilting both on this base here and also the back. So overall, it's a nice place to be. In terms of storage for, well, to be honest, if you've got kids, chocolate, crisps, wrappers, probably a few dinosaurs somewhere. We've got door bins and a pocket on the back of this seat. If you've got slightly older kids with drinks, you can fit a 1 litre bottle in there. So it's pretty good. One thing I am surprised, being a £27,000 car, is there's no connectivity to charge your mobile phones or tablets in the back here. I would have thought it had it. There's a perfect spot just here for it. So yeah, that's the one thing that lets it down in the back, but it's not exactly major. So now we've looked around the back, let's hop in the front, we'll talk about the tech, and let's go for a drive. Now we're underway, we can talk about the main difference with this car. We know that it's not the looks where all the money's gone, but it's under the bonnet. There is now a 1.4 booster jet fitted with mild hybrid technology. So let's talk about this mild hybrid. What on earth is that? So you may have heard of a plug-in hybrid, a self-charging hybrid, a PHEV. And with those type of vehicles, they have the ability to run on just electric power only. Suzuki have just started doing this with the new A-Cross and the new Swace. This, on the other hand, is slightly different. We have a small electric motor, a really small battery, and the car can use that in certain circumstances. So when I'm pulling up to the traffic lights, as long as I've got enough battery, the petrol will shut off below 10 mile an hour. The electric will take over and run the major components you need to run the car, such as power steering, and you'll come to a stop. When you pull away again, rather than the petrol motor kicking off and pulling away, it's the electric motor that takes over. Again, gets you up to a slow speed, and then the petrol kicks in. It makes for a very fuel efficient way of driving the car. Suzuki say it saves 20%. It's better for the environment, which is also a good thing. Some of this will have been done because of the regulations to do with CO2 emissions. So certainly in the UK, the government have said the manufacturer must have an average CO2 emissions across all cars, and that's why the mild hybrid system is fitted to it. That is why we said goodbye to the amazing Jimny, because it had a very, unfortunately, a dirty engine, which completely pushed them over that average threshold. Hopefully we'll see a new Jimny sometime this year. Can't say for certain, but that is what a mild hybrid system is. So clever tech, save your money, better for the environment. Something that is very unusual about this car is the fact it comes with all-wheel drive, well, as an option, and that has been fitted to this particular car, and Suzuki have coined it All Grip. Now, All Grip has been available, I think, since the 70s. It has been fitted to a number of the Vitaras, the Grand Vitara, and also the Jimny, and it's really useful, especially at the moment. This weather is, oh my goodness me, this is absolutely shocking. So at the moment, I've got it in auto mode. You can toggle between the different modes using this selector down here. So let's start off with auto. Auto means the car is front wheel biased, and it will monitor what's happening with the grip levels on the road. Certainly at the moment it's probably working overtime. So if it feels there's slippage, so you go to a puddle or dirt or maybe snow, it will then split the power and go over to a more four-wheel drive bias setup. So it gives you that confidence when driving. You can then go over to a snow mode, so you can turn the dial down here, go over to there, and that obviously is when you've got slippery conditions and you want it to be more four-wheel drive biased. I think at the moment we need that mode. I'm not sure if you can, this is mental, what is going on? So you can go over to snow mode. you've got then the option to go over to lock, and that will lock the diff and it will be in permanent four-wheel drive mode. So that certainly will be very, very useful if you've taken this thing off-road and you're maybe stuck in some mud and you need to get going. So that's when you'd use the lock. So the final mode we've got is sports mode, and that would be selected if you were driving a bit more vigorously and you were down some nice roads and you wanted to progress on a bit better. So they are the different driving modes. Auto is probably the best one to leave it in so you don't have to fiddle around with anything at all. But what has this car got in terms of gadgets? Well, we've got automatic headlights, automatic windscreen wipers, start-stop technology, blind spot monitoring. So if you get a car in your blind spot, it will flash up on the wing mirror, which is really good. Now, two bits of tech I love, which make for a great experience and a very relaxing drive when you're on dual carriageways or motorways, is active cruise control. So active cruise control, you set the speed you want to be traveling at, say 70 miles an hour, and the radar in front of you monitors what's happening. So if the traffic goes down, say, to 50 miles an hour, it will slow you down to 50. When the traffic speeds back up, it speeds you back up. Brilliant. You don't have to accelerate or brake. Now, the other feature which this is fitted in, and it works in combination with this, is lane assist. Now, lane assist will keep you between the white lines and will make small corrections or beeping noises as well if you drift out. So you can imagine being on a motorway with both these enabled. You don't need to steer, you don't need to brake, you don't need to accelerate. All you need to do is leave your hands on the wheel and just pay attention to what's in front of you. The infotainment system in here is okay, but it does feel a bit dated. The actual system is touchscreen and split into 4 tiles. So we've got one to control the DAB radio, one for your phone with calls, guidance, so that's maps, and then also a way of controlling your smartphone. Now, the smartphone side of it is the main redeeming feature of this. It comes with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard, and that is most definitely what I'd be using. All you need to do, you plug your phone into this port underneath the climate control, and that's it. You can then use Google Maps or Waze, podcasts, Spotify, or whatever it happens to be. So that most definitely is the option I'll be using. Now, I've seen a few people complain about the volume control with the touchscreen on the left. Yes, it's a bit fiddly. I don't particularly like that. But you've got a volume control with a physical button over on the steering wheel. So just use that, to be honest. So yeah, it's okay. Apple CarPlay, that is definitely the option I'll be using. The instrument binnacle is made up of a combination of analog dials and a digital display, and the digital display, you can cycle through various bits of information using this button up in the top right hand corner. So at the moment I've got the power source, and that will show whether I'm using the electric motor, the petrol motor, or whether we're charging the batteries. And you can cycle through, you've got various other things on there, so average fuel consumption, when you need to refuel the car, etc, etc. Not sure how often you'll be changing that. I think probably your average MPG and when you need to refuel are the most important ones. There are a mixture of slightly cheaper materials and more expensive soft touch. Now, soft touch up on the dash here, I'm never quite sure about this because I don't often go around poking the dashboard. These other materials, which some people call scratchy plastics, these are brilliant for cleaning. If this is going to be a family car, we all know what kids are like with getting sticky fingers all over things. If you've got a dog like I have, getting mud everywhere, this sort of plastic is very, very easy to clean. So yes, they are cheaper, but they're incredibly hard wearing. So at the beginning of the video I said, would the Vitara make a good replacement for your slightly clapped out old family car if you're looking for a new compact SUV? Simply, yes, I think it would. It's reasonably priced, £27,000 for this top of the range model. Save yourself 3,000 or 4,000 for going for the SZT. Save another 1,000 if you don't want the all grip. And you're looking at a bit of a bargain, really. It's great for the family. We've got plenty of room in the back, plenty of room in the boot. It looks smart. It's nice to drive. I do like this little 1.4. And 45 to the gallon, go for the non-all grip, so the standard two-wheel drive, you'll get 50 to the gallon. There's not a lot not to like. Yes, it has got some cheaper materials, but could you imagine sticky chocolate fingers and expensive leather or Alcantara? You'd be worried so much about your kids touching anything. So yeah, I think this is great. Admittedly at the moment the dealers are not open for test drives, but they are available for click and collect or telephone calls to talk about things. So give the guys at Suzuki Worthing a ring if you've got any further questions. I'm really hoping this video has answered a lot of questions and you can see what the car is like to drive. Anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video and it's given you lots of facts and food for thought. If you do have any questions, please put in the comments down below. Click on the subscribe button if you have enjoyed it, and even better, share it with your friends and give it a thumbs up. Anyway guys, thanks for watching and I'll see you on the next video.